The ship Aurora Trail drifted quietly in orbit around the blue-white planet of Vether Prime. It was the first human ship allowed to dock at a Yeltharan space station. The mission was supposed to be peaceful, formal, and very serious. No one told Captain Eli Vance that the aliens were all 7 feet tall, glowing and looked like living sculptures. He stood in the docking bay, trying not to stare too much at the alien soldiers lined up before him. Their skin shimmered like glass under sunlight, faint light moving beneath the surface like soft lightning. Every movement they made was calm and precise. No wasted energy, no visible emotion. Eli felt like a clumsy animal among them, sweating inside his uniform, boots squeaking on the polished floor. He whispered to himself, "Don't mess this up, Vance. Just say hello, shake hands, or whatever they do, and keep your mouth shut." The translator drone hovered near his shoulder, blinking green. It was programmed to convert human speech into the musical tones of the Yeltharan language. The only problem, it translated everything, even the things Eli mumbled to himself. The alien commander entered the room. Commander Siravel was taller than the rest, her armor silver-white, marked with flowing blue lines that pulsed with light. Her eyes glowed faintly gold, sharp and intelligent. She moved with the grace of a dancer and the authority of a queen. When she stopped in front of him, the air seemed to hum. Eli tried to stand straight. "Captain Eli Vance of the Terran Federation at your service." The translator repeated his words in perfect melody. Siravel inclined her head slightly. "Welcome, human of Terra. Your presence honors the ascendancy. May this exchange bring balance." Her voice was calm and almost musical, but there was power behind it. Eli felt small, and not just because of the height difference. He'd read the files. The Yeltharans had no concept of lying, no understanding of humor, and no patience for casual speech. Every word mattered. He nodded quickly. "Thank you, Commander. I'm honored to, be here and learn from your people." She looked at him silently for a long moment. "We shall see." They began walking through the station. The corridors were bright and curved, built from crystal and metal that shimmered with faint light. Alien symbols floated in the air like holographic runes. Every step echoed softly. Eli tried to look confident, but his heart raced. He noticed how every alien they passed bowed slightly to Siravel. She was respected, feared even. He admired her strength and discipline. She moved like she belonged to the world itself, not walking but gliding through it. And then it happened. They entered a large chamber where a group of scientists waited. Strange machines floated above the floor, scanning the humans with beams of light. Eli stood beside Siravel as they explained something about gravitational harmonics and neural resonance. He tried to pay attention, but his mind drifted. She stood close beside him now, and he could feel the faint energy field around her armor. Her form was powerful, shoulders broad, stance steady, every muscle built for purpose. There was beauty in it, the kind that came from strength, not softness. He thought he was thinking quietly. He thought it was safe. He muttered under his breath, "Damn. She's got a figure built for war." The translator drone blinked blue, and then, in perfect musical alien speech, it repeated, "Damn. She's got a figure built for war." The chamber froze. The scientists turned. The guards shifted. The room's hum died to silence. Eli's brain stopped working. His face went pale. No. It didn't just... Oh God, it did." Siravel turned her head slowly toward him. Her golden eyes glowed brighter, but her face stayed perfectly calm. "What did you say, human?" Eli's mouth opened and closed like a fish. I didn't mean it was a translation error. The drone sometimes..." "The translator does not error," she said softly. Her voice was quiet, but it carried across the entire hall. "You spoke, and it spoke truth." The guards stepped forward, hands on their weapons. The humans behind Eli panicked silently. The mission leader gave him a look that clearly meant, "You just doomed humanity." Eli swallowed hard. His mind raced. "Think, man, think. Don't say sorry, they don't even have that word." He took a deep breath and said slowly, "I meant, your form shows strength. Power. You look like someone who commands respect. I admire that." The translator repeated his words. The silence stretched again. Then, to everyone's shock, Siravel tilted her head slightly. "You perceive strength as beauty?" Eli blinked. Yes? In my culture, yes. True beauty comes from purpose and courage." Something flickered in her eyes. Curiosity, maybe even amusement. "Interesting. Among my people, beauty is the harmony of function. It is not admired. It is measured. Yet you call it beauty. Eli nodded quickly. Exactly. We humans think strength, grace, and determination are beautiful. You, have all three. The translator sang the words softly, almost like a compliment in song. And then Siravel did something no one expected. She laughed. It was a strange sound, like the ringing of crystal bells. The other aliens looked shocked, as if hearing their commander laugh was impossible. She raised a hand and the guards lowered their weapons. Perhaps humans are not as primitive as the council claims, she said. You speak without control, yet your words carry meaning. Eli felt his knees go weak with relief. Thank you, Commander. I'll, try to be more careful next time. Her eyes glowed brighter. Do not. The uncontrolled voice reveals truth. We will see what truths you hold, Captain Eli Vance. After the meeting, Eli walked through the corridor, trying not to collapse from the stress. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Harper, whispered, You realize you just flirted with an alien war hero in front of a science council? Eli groaned. It wasn't flirting, it was a linguistic accident. Sure, Harper said with a grin. A historic one. If she didn't vaporize you, maybe she likes you. Eli sighed. I don't want her to like me. I just want her not to declare war. But deep down he couldn't stop replaying her laugh in his mind. That sound had felt human. Later that night he was called to the observation deck. The message said, Commander Siravel requests your presence. He hesitated for a full minute before going. The deck was quiet, filled with soft blue light from the planet below. Siravel stood by the window, hands clasped behind her back. Her reflection shimmered in the glass like a ghost of light. You are brave to return, she said without turning around. Eli cleared his throat. I wasn't sure if it was optional. She smiled faintly. It was not. He stood beside her, unsure what to say. The stars outside were endless, a river of light. It's beautiful, he said softly. She looked at him. You see beauty in everything, it seems. He smiled nervously. It's kind of a human habit. The universe is full of danger, but we like to look for beauty anyway. Keeps us sane. She studied him for a long moment. Perhaps that is why you survive. We, the Yeltharans, seek perfection. You, the humans, seek meaning. Different paths to the same end. Eli nodded slowly. Maybe that's why we need each other. Siravel turned fully to face him. Her eyes were calm now, but thoughtful. In our history, no human has spoken to a commander the way you did. You risked everything with one careless sentence. Why? Eli laughed weakly. Honestly? Because humans say dumb things when they're nervous. And I was really nervous. To his surprise, she seemed to understand. Honesty born from fear, she said. Rare among diplomats. I find it refreshing. They stood in silence again. Outside, a comet passed across the stars like a white flame. Finally, she said, You called my figure a symbol of strength. If that is truth, then you must prove you understand what strength is. Eli frowned. Prove? How? Her eyes glowed brighter. Through training. At dawn tomorrow, you will join me in the resonance chamber. If you survive, I will accept your explanation. If not, the council will not have to decide your fate. Eli's stomach dropped. Survive? Do not fear, she said almost gently. I will be there. And perhaps, Captain, you will learn the true weight of the words you speak. She turned and left the deck, her armor glowing faintly as she walked away. Eli stood alone, staring out at the stars. He should have felt terrified, but part of him felt something else. Curiosity, respect, and maybe, just maybe, admiration. He smiled faintly. Guess I really need to watch what I say next time. The translator drone, still hovering behind him, beeped softly and repeated, Guess I really need to watch what I say next time. He groaned. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. The next morning began with the cold blue light of Vethar Prime shining through the ship's windows. Captain Eli Vance hadn't slept much. He had spent half the night replaying Commander Siravel's words in his mind. At dawn, you will join me in the resonance chamber. That sentence kept echoing like a warning bell. He had no idea what a resonance chamber was, but he knew two things. The Yeltharans didn't joke. Survive was never a word you wanted to hear from them. When the door to his quarters opened, 2 Yeltharan guards waited silently. They didn't speak. They just gestured for him to follow. Eli sighed, straightened his jacket, and muttered, Great. Last night I insulted an alien commander, And today I get to die politely. The translator drone beeped softly, as if agreeing. The resonance chamber. The guards led him into a large, round room made entirely of glass and silver metal. The walls glowed faintly with moving light, and strange energy ripples drifted through the air like mist. It felt alive, like the room itself was breathing. Commander Scifi stood at the center, wearing a different kind of armor, lighter, flexible, and covered in faintly glowing lines that moved like water under her skin. Her hair shimmered like white fire. She looked both dangerous and calm. Eli stopped a few feet away. "You called for me, Commander." She turned, her voice steady. "I did. You spoke of strength and beauty. Now you will learn the difference between the two." Eli blinked. "And this chamber helps with that?" "This chamber measures will," she said simply. "It connects body and mind through resonance. Those who cannot control their thoughts are destroyed by their own fear." Eli felt his throat go dry. "So a meditation room that can kill me?" She looked almost amused. "In a way." Scifi motioned for him to step forward. "You humans believe strength comes from emotion. We believe it comes from control. If you wish to understand my form, you must survive my world." Eli stepped closer, feeling the energy vibrate around him. His skin tingled. His heartbeat seemed louder. The air felt heavy, like standing underwater. "What do I have to do?" "Breathe," she said. "Focus, empty your thoughts." Eli closed his eyes and took a breath. He tried to think of nothing, but his brain refused. Instead, he thought about his ship, his crew, his home planet, and the fact that he might die because he complimented an alien's figure. The room reacted instantly. The glowing walls pulsed faster, and a wave of pressure hit him like wind. He stumbled back. The floor rippled beneath his boots like liquid metal. Scifi's calm voice cut through the noise. "Control your mind, human. The chamber listens. It does not forgive chaos." Eli forced himself to breathe slower. "Right. Calm. Peace." "Totally calm," he muttered. The translator drone repeated, "Totally calm." Scifi almost smiled. "Your words betray your fear. You must mean them." He gritted his teeth. "I'm trying." She stepped closer, her eyes glowing brighter. "Do not try. Do." The energy in the chamber surged again, wrapping around them both like invisible threads. Suddenly, images flashed in Eli's mind, memories, fears, flashes of fire and loss. He saw Earth's old wars, the faces of people he'd lost in battle, the destruction of ships under alien fire. He gasped. "What is happening?" "The chamber mirrors your soul," Scifi said softly. "It shows the truth of your strength." Her own memories flickered around her. Cold silver cities, endless training halls, and the faces of emotionless mentors. No laughter, no freedom, only discipline and silence. Eli realized something then. She's never known fear. She's never known chaos. To her, emotion was a weakness. He looked at her and said, "Maybe that's why you don't understand humans. We don't hide our chaos, we use it." The energy rippled again, reacting to his words. The floor cracked with blue light, but Eli didn't flinch. He stepped forward, eyes locked on hers. Scifi tilted her head. "You believe emotion is power?" "Yes," Eli said. "Fear, love, hope, all of it. We fight harder because we feel." The chamber pulsed violently, but this time Eli didn't fall. The energy wrapped around him like a storm, but he held his ground. He was sweating, shaking, but still standing. Scifi watched him closely. Her golden eyes widened slightly. "You resist. You endure, even when it hurts." "That's what humans do," Eli said between breaths. "We endure everything, and keep walking." The lights in the chamber shifted. The energy that once tried to crush him now circled both of them, glowing brighter. It began to synchronize, their heartbeats matching, their breathing aligning. Scifi spoke softly, almost reverently. "You are resonating with me," Eli frowned. "That's good, right?" She nodded slowly. "It is rare. Even among my people, resonance requires perfect harmony of will. You have achieved it with none of our training." Eli managed a tired grin. "Guess humans are full of surprises." For a moment, the chamber went silent. The glow faded, leaving only a soft hum in the air. Scifi stepped closer until she was only a few feet away. "You said my figure shows strength," she said quietly. "Now I see your words were not empty. You see the truth others ignore." Eli met her gaze. "You're strong because you control everything. But strength also means knowing when to let go. Her expression softened. And you? What does strength mean to you, Captain Vance? He thought for a moment, then said simply, "It means standing your ground even when you're scared." She was silent for a long time. Then, to his surprise, she removed one of her armored gloves and placed her glowing hand on the wall. The chamber's energy flickered and the floor solidified. "The trial ends," she said. "You have proven your will." Eli blinked. "That's it? I passed?" She looked at him with something almost like pride. "You endured. You spoke truth. And you did not break. For a human, that is rare." He laughed weakly. "Glad I didn't explode or something." Siravel turned away, but there was a faint smile on her lips. "You were close." After the trial later, they stood in the quiet of the observation deck again. The stars of Vethar Prime sparkled below like tiny suns. Siravel stood beside him, her hands behind her back as usual, but her tone was different, less formal, more thoughtful. "When I was young," she said, "my teachers told me emotion was weakness. They said silence was strength. But when I looked into your mind, I saw music, chaos, passion, pain, and yet you lived through it." Eli smiled softly. "That's humanity for you. We break, we bleed, we complain a lot, but we get back up." She turned to him. "Perhaps your kind has something the ascendancy lacks." He chuckled. "A bad habit of saying the wrong thing?" Siravel gave him a look that almost seemed amused. "No, you have heart. It makes you unpredictable." Eli leaned against the window. "You know, back on Earth, people say strength isn't about muscles or weapons. It's about doing what's right even when it's hard." "Perhaps," she said quietly. "You made me question my own definition." They stood in silence for a while, watching the stars drift. The energy between them felt different now, no longer cold or tense. There was understanding. Eli finally broke the silence. "So, did I pass your test, Commander?" Siravel nodded slowly. "You did. But there is another test coming. One that will decide more than your fate," he frowned. "Another one? What kind of test?" Her voice lowered. "The trial of resonance. It is not between body and mind, but between souls." Eli raised an eyebrow. "That sounds even worse." She didn't smile this time. "It is, few survive. None have ever shared it with an alien before." Eli crossed his arms. "Then I guess I'll be the first." Siravel studied him carefully. "You would risk your life for a culture not your own." He shrugged. "Why not? Understanding each other is the only way we stop being enemies." For the first time, Siravel looked uncertain. "You confuse me, human. You speak like a warrior, but you act like a poet." Eli grinned. "Maybe I'm a bit of both." She turned toward the stars again. "Then prepare yourself. Tomorrow the council will witness your courage, and perhaps they will see humanity the way I do now." Eli tilted his head. "And how's that?" Siravel looked back at him, her golden eyes glowing softly. Flawed, fragile, but beautiful. For once, Eli was speechless. The next morning, Captain Eli Vance woke with a tight knot in his stomach. Today was the day of the trial of resonance. He had survived the resonance chamber, but this was different. The trial wasn't just about strength or courage, it was about connection. Something he didn't fully understand, but something Siravel had warned could be fatal. The observation deck of the Ascendancy Station was crowded with Yeltharan Council members, humans and a few alien diplomats from nearby worlds. Their eyes glimmered with curiosity and suspicion. All waited for the trial to begin. Eli adjusted his uniform, feeling the weight of both expectation and fear. His palms were sweaty, his throat dry. He tried to calm himself. Breathe. Focus. Survive. Siravel appeared at the center of the chamber, her presence commanding silence. Her armor glimmered in the soft light. The lines of energy along her body pulsed faintly, like the heartbeat of the station itself. "Captain Vance," she said, her voice echoing in the chamber. "The trial of resonance begins. Your soul will be connected to mine. You will feel my thoughts, my emotions, my memories. You must endure, and you must remain yourself. If you cannot, you will be overwhelmed." Eli swallowed. "I think I can do that." The translator repeated his words perfectly. Siravel's golden eyes glimmered. "We shall see." Entering the trial, they stepped into a circular platform in the middle of the chamber. The floor beneath them hummed with energy. Lights traced their bodies, mapping invisible lines from one to the other. Eli's heart raced. The room seemed to breathe with them. The moment he touched the small crystalline console in the center, a wave of energy shot through him. Suddenly, he was inside his own mind. His memories flashed like a slideshow. Childhood games on Earth, first steps in zero-gravity ships, the faces of friends lost in combat, the thrill of exploration, the fear of failure. He realized the trial wasn't about fighting aliens, it was about facing himself. Then he felt it. Siravel's mind brushing against his. Not forcefully, but like a tide creeping in. Her thoughts were different. Disciplined, precise, calm, but with hidden intensity. She was strong. Too strong, in fact, for a human mind to understand. Images of her life appeared, training halls with mirrored walls, endless drills, lessons in patience and control, moments of solitude, memories of loss and responsibility too heavy for most humans to bear. Eli gasped. The intensity was almost unbearable. This is it, he thought. This is what she meant by survival. Facing the challenge, the council watched silently as the energy connecting them pulsed. Humans could only witness the faint glow, but Eli could feel every flicker of Siravel's mind. She spoke, not aloud, but in his mind. "Do you understand strength, human?" "Yes," Eli thought back, willing himself to remain calm. "I think I do." Images flashed again. Battles he had fought, moments he had saved others, choices he had made under pressure. He could feel the intensity of life and the weight of every decision. Siravel's thoughts pushed back. "Your emotions are raw. You feel too much. You risk chaos." "I know," he replied mentally. "But strength isn't just control. It's also courage. The courage to feel and still act." For a long moment, the trial seemed to shake. Energy waves pulsed violently around them. The platform trembled. Eli's legs wobbled. Sweat poured down his face. He had never worked so hard in his life, physically, mentally, emotionally. Yet he remembered Siravel's words from the previous day. Do not try. Do. He focused. He cleared his mind of doubt. He let himself feel everything, fear, hope, love, pain, but without letting it control him. The moment of connection. Suddenly, the energy shifted. Instead of fighting him, it began to flow with him. He could sense Siravel's thoughts blending with his, but not consuming him. It was like dancing with fire, dangerous, beautiful and thrilling. He saw through her eyes, endless training, moments of solitude, moments of decision. He felt her burden of responsibility and the weight of perfection she carried. And then she saw through his eyes. Earth's chaos, the human struggle to survive, moments of brilliance from imperfect people, and the courage that kept them going. You feel it, she said in his mind. The chaos, the unpredictability, the courage. Yes, he thought back. And it's beautiful. It's what makes humans human. Her mind pulsed in surprise. You see truth in what I have ignored. Even perfection has limits, even discipline has gaps. You understand something I do not. The energy around them began to settle. The pulsing slowed. The chamber's floor became solid again. The council's reaction, the Yeltharan council gasped. Humans had never endured the trial of resonance before. Many thought it impossible. Yet Eli stood, trembling slightly but fully conscious. Siravel looked at him, her expression unreadable. You have not only survived, Captain Vance. You have connected. You have proven the worth of your emotions, your courage, and your strength. Eli's legs shook. I didn't think I could do it. It was intense. Her golden eyes softened. Few beings endure resonance with me. Fewer still emerge unchanged yet alive. You are extraordinary. Not because of perfection, but because of your will. The council murmured among themselves. Some were shocked, others impressed. A few whispered in disbelief. Humans were underestimated, and Eli had proven them wrong. After the trial later, Eli sat on the observation deck, trying to calm his racing heart. Siravel joined him, standing silently at the window. The planet below was calm and beautiful. You survived, she said quietly. Few do. You have shown me the power of humanity. Eli smiled weakly. I think we just survive because we have no choice. We fight, we stumble, we get back up. She tilted her head. Perhaps that is why your kind is unpredictable. You carry strength in chaos and courage in fear. It is remarkable. He looked at her. So, did I prove anything to you? Siravel's expression softened, almost like a smile. You proved that strength is not just control. It is will, it is courage. And sometimes, it is heart. Eli chuckled softly. I never thought a compliment could lead to all this. Not a compliment, she said quietly. A truth. You spoke your mind, human. You faced the consequences. And in doing so, you taught me something I never knew. He stared at her, feeling a strange mix of relief, respect, and admiration. I think. I learned something too. Humans are strong, yes, but sometimes it takes an alien to make us see it ourselves. Siravel looked out at the stars. Perhaps we both learned. And perhaps this is only the beginning. Eli's mind raced. The trial had tested his mind, body, and soul. He had survived. But something told him the real challenge was only starting. Not just for him, but for all humans. Tomorrow, she said softly, the council will decide if you are worthy of trust. But for now, rest. You have earned it. Eli sat silently watching the stars. The trial of resonance had not only tested his strength, it had connected him to a mind alien yet familiar. The council chamber of the Yeltharan Ascendancy was grand and imposing. Towers of crystal glowed softly under the light of twin suns, and alien symbols floated in the air like holographic ribbons. Captain Eli Vance walked in slowly, trying to look confident. Inside, he felt like a small human in a hall built for gods. The council members were seated in a semicircle, their golden eyes fixed on him. Some whispered to each other, their tones sharp with suspicion. Many had witnessed the trial of resonance the day before. Few expected a human to survive it, let alone emerge connected with a Yeltharan commander. Siravel stood beside him, her glowing armor reflecting the chamber's light. Her expression was calm, but Eli could sense her tension. Even she knew the council might not approve of what had happened. A high-ranking counselor, Thyler, spoke first. You, human, have survived the trial of resonance, yet you touched the mind of Commander Siravel. This is unprecedented. It may be dangerous for our people. Eli raised his hand slightly, trying to appear non-threatening. I mean no harm. I only wish to connect, to understand. That's all. Tyler's golden eyes narrowed. Connection with a human is a violation of our traditions. Commander Siravel, do you approve this? Siravel's voice was firm. Yes, he endured the trial and he has proven his will, his courage, and his worth. The human sees the truth of strength, something many of us fail to understand. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Whispers spread like lightning. Some council members looked furious. Others looked thoughtful, as if reconsidering what they had always believed. The council's challenge, Thyler's gaze hardened. Commander, are you willing to defend a human against the council? This is dangerous. Our laws are strict. If you protect him, you risk your position. Siravel turned to him, her golden eyes glowing. I am willing. He has shown strength, courage, and truth. That is worth more than obedience to tradition. Eli felt his jaw drop. Protecting him? From the entire Yeltharan Council? He wanted to say something clever, but all he could manage was, Thank you? Thyler's voice was cold. Then the council will decide whether this human may remain aboard the Ascendancy Station. Commander, you will face judgment for your choice. Eli's heart pounded. He had survived the trial of resonance, but this was different. It wasn't a test of his mind or soul. It was a test of the council's politics. And humans were not used to that kind of challenge. Siravel's voice cut through the tension. I do not fear judgment. This human has earned my trust and I will not betray it. Her words echoed through the chamber, calm but firm. The council members murmured in disbelief. Few had ever heard a commander speak so boldly. Eli glanced at her. She's risking everything for me, he thought. A surge of gratitude and awe washed over him. Eli's unexpected role. The council debated for what felt like hours. Eli stood quietly, letting Siravel handle the arguments. But he noticed the subtle glances of some council members. Curiosity, respect, even a hint of admiration. They had underestimated humans, and now they had to reconsider. Finally, Thyler slammed his hand on the crystal podium. Enough, humans cannot be trusted. Their unpredictability endangers the ascendancy. Eli's mouth opened instinctively. Actually, we can be trusted. Humans survive because we face danger, not because we hide from it. We make mistakes, yes, but we also learn fast and we fight to protect others. That's how we survive. The translator drone repeated his words, carefully capturing his tone. The chamber went silent. Siravel tilted her head, almost amused. You speak boldly, human, Eli swallowed. I speak truth. Not all humans are perfect, but all humans endure. We adapt, and sometimes we surprise even ourselves. There was a long pause. The council members exchanged whispers, debating silently. A shift in power. Then something unexpected happened. One of the younger council members, Talira, stood. She was not as experienced as Thyler, but had a sharp mind and curious eyes. Perhaps we have been wrong, she said softly. Humans survive not because they follow rules, but because they understand the world differently. If this human has endured the trial of resonance, perhaps we should reconsider our judgment. Thyler scowled. And risk the traditions of our people? Talira's gaze hardened. And risk ignoring strength in its truest form? Commander Scifi has judged him. Perhaps that should be enough. The chamber fell silent. Eli felt a flicker of hope. Scifi stepped forward. Captain Vance has faced fear, chaos, and judgment. He has endured all without breaking. That is the definition of strength. Do you, Council, truly deny this? One by one, the Council members began to nod slowly. Resistance remained, but cracks were forming. The Council had never faced someone like Eli, someone who showed courage, honesty, and heart in the face of fear. The decision, finally, Thyler spoke, his voice heavy but resigned. Very well. Humans may remain aboard the station, for now. Commander Scifi, your judgment is noted. But know this, any further failures, and the Council's patience may run out. Scifi inclined her head. I understand, but I do not expect failure. Humans and Yeltharans may learn much from each other. Eli felt relief flood him. He had survived the trial, earned Scifi's trust, and even convinced part of the Council of Humanity's worth. He wanted to sit down, breathe, and recover. But he knew better. This was just the beginning. An unexpected bond after the council meeting. Scifi led Eli to the observation deck. The planet below was calm, and the twin suns reflected off its oceans in gold and blue. You have surprised them, she said quietly. And yourself? Eli smiled weakly. I didn't think I had a choice. She studied him, her golden eyes glowing softly. Most humans would have faltered under pressure. You did not. You endured because you understood something others refused to see. That courage is not absence of fear, but action despite it. Eli felt warmth in his chest. Thanks, I think. Her lips curved slightly in the faintest smile. Do not think, Captain. Observe, learn, and endure. That is how humans and Yeltharans may grow stronger together. He nodded. And I thought my biggest problem was complimenting your figure. Scifi's laugh was soft but real this time. That was only the beginning. True challenges require more than words. Eli realized she was right. The trial of resonance had tested his mind and soul. The council had tested his courage and heart. But the real challenge, surviving alien politics while earning trust, was only just beginning. Dorton. Alone later, Eli wandered the station alone. The halls were quiet. He reflected on everything that had happened. He had insulted an alien, survived the trial of resonance, and now won part of the council's respect. Somehow he had also earned Scifi's trust, a trust few humans would ever achieve. He thought about the commander's words. Courage is action despite fear. He realized that was more than a lesson. It was a survival guide for life in space. Eli smiled faintly. If humans can endure this, maybe we really are something special. And somewhere deep inside, he knew the universe had just begun to notice. The challenge ahead, as he returned to his quarters, Eli knew the story wasn't over. There would be more trials, more judgments, and more tests. But he felt ready to face what came next, ready to prove the strength of humanity once again. And Scifi's words echoed in his mind. You are flawed, fragile, but beautiful. For the first time in a long time, Eli didn't feel afraid. He felt proud to be human, and he knew that no matter what the universe threw at him, he could endure. The unexpected reversal, the council's hesitation, the human's courage, the alien commander's trust had changed everything. Humanity had earned a place among the stars. And Eli Vance was at the very center of it. The morning air of Vether Prime was calm and bright, as Captain Eli Vance prepared for another day aboard the Yeltharan station. After surviving the trial of resonance and convincing part of the Council of Humanity's strength, he felt more confident, but also aware that challenges were far from over. Scifi had summoned him for a private briefing before the council convened. Eli wasn't sure if he was walking into a lesson, a test, or another trap. Either way, he had learned by now. Stay calm, stay alert, and speak only when necessary. The invitation. He entered the observation deck, where Scifi was already waiting. The planet below shimmered in sunlight, reflecting off the oceans in streaks of gold and sapphire. She turned to him, her golden eyes steady. "Captain Vance," she said, her voice calm but commanding. "The council has accepted your presence aboard the station. However, their trust is fragile. One wrong move and it could be withdrawn." Eli nodded. "I understand, Commander. I'll be careful." She studied him for a moment, then gestured to the deck's window. "I want to show you something before the council meets." Curious, Eli followed her to the edge of the platform. She activated a holographic display that filled the room with stars, ships, and planets in real time. "This," she said softly, "is the border of the Ascendancy. Until now, humans have only seen fragments. Few have walked among our people and survived." Eli stared at the holograms, amazed. "It's incredible. I never imagined it would be like this." Scifi's gaze softened slightly. "And yet you are here, not as a visitor, but as a participant. You have earned a place, Captain Vance." Eli felt warmth rise in his chest. Earned a place. The words sounded simple, but the weight behind them was immense. Humans were often underestimated in space. Here, among the Yeltharans, he had proved that heart and courage mattered. The council session. The council convened later that day. Eli took his seat, aware of the eyes upon him. Whispers circulated. The same counselors who had doubted him now watched with interest. Some curiosity, some lingering suspicion, but none could deny the human had survived the impossible. Thyler's eyes narrowed as he addressed the room. "Captain Eli Vance has survived the trial of resonance. He has proven his will and courage. Yet, can a human truly understand the responsibilities of our people?" Eli took a deep breath. This was his moment. "I may not be a Yeltharan," he said slowly, "but humans survive because we face what others avoid. We fight for our people, we endure fear, and we learn from every mistake. I can't claim to understand everything about your culture, but I can promise to respect it, learn from it, and protect it." The translator drone repeated his words flawlessly. A hush fell over the chamber. Counselors glanced at each other, some nodding in approval, others thoughtful. Scifi's golden eyes met his. "You speak truth," she said quietly, "and that is all I require." Eli realized that in this moment it wasn't just survival that mattered. It was trust. And trust once earned could change worlds. A gesture of respect after the council session, Eli returned to the observation deck to find Scifi waiting again. This time there was something different in her stance. Less formality, more openness. "You have done more than survive," she said softly. "You have challenged assumptions, confronted fear, and shown that strength comes in forms we do not always expect." Eli felt a mixture of pride and humility. "I just spoke my mind. I never imagined it would lead to all this." Scifi's eyes glowed faintly. "Sometimes the smallest words carry the greatest weight. Your honesty forced not only me, but others to see differently. That is rare. That is strength." Eli swallowed. He wanted to say something clever, but the truth left him speechless. He only nodded. She stepped closer, her energy field gently rippling around her. "Captain Vance, you have earned more than survival. You have earned my respect." For the first time, Eli's voice failed him. He could only meet her gaze, feeling the weight of her words. Respect from a Yeltharan commander was not given lightly. The decision that changed everything. Days later, the council gathered again. This time their discussion was shorter. Many had changed their minds. Some council members who had opposed Eli before now saw him in a new light. Thyler stood, his voice calmer than before. "Captain Vance has survived trials no human has faced. Commander Scifi has vouched for him. The council recognizes the human's courage and insight. He is accepted." Eli felt his heart skip a beat. Accepted. He had never expected this outcome. Scifi stepped forward. Not only accepted, but welcomed. Captain Vance is a symbol of what humans can achieve, and of what can happen when we open our minds to each other. The chamber erupted in muted applause. Council members whispered in awe. Aliens who had once doubted humanity now regarded him with curiosity, respect, and even admiration. Eli glanced at Scifi. Her golden eyes met his, calm but glowing with approval. He felt proud, not just for himself but for humanity. A private moment later that evening, Eli returned to the observation deck alone. The twin suns were setting, casting gold and blue light across the planet below. Scifi joined him quietly, standing close without a word. For a long time they just watched the horizon. The silence was comfortable, almost intimate in a way Eli never expected from an alien commander. Finally, she spoke. "Captain Vance, you have proven more than courage or survival. You have proven that humans are capable of seeing truth where others see only rules. That is rare and beautiful." Eli's chest tightened. He could hardly believe what he was hearing. I don't know what to say." "Say nothing," she replied softly. "Only understand. You have changed more than your own fate. You have shown a path forward for humans and Yeltharans alike." Eli swallowed. "I never thought a simple mistake talking too freely could lead to this. That I could make a difference." Scifi's smile was faint but real. Sometimes the smallest acts carry the greatest consequences. "You spoke your mind and it resonated more than you imagined." He felt a warmth in his chest, a mix of pride, relief, and awe. He realized that in this vast galaxy, humans could matter, not because they were perfect, but because they dared to be honest, brave, and persistent. The response that left him speechless, then she said something that stopped him completely. "Captain Vance, I wish to see the world that shaped such strength. I wish to walk among humans, to learn as you have taught me to see." Eli froze. His mind raced. The commander, a high-ranking, powerful alien, was choosing to leave her station, her empire, to be among humans. Because of him. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Nothing he could say could express what he felt. Shock, awe, pride, and a strange kind of joy. Finally, he whispered, "You would do that for me?" She inclined her head. "Not for you alone. For humanity. For understanding. You showed me what courage and heart truly are. Now I wish to see the world that shaped it." Eli was speechless. He had survived trials, convinced a council, and now had inspired an alien commander to explore humanity itself. All at once he realized the weight of it. Humans could stand among the stars, not as subjects, but as equals. And he, Captain Eli Vance, had been the spark that made it possible. A new beginning that night, Eli stood alone on the observation deck, staring at the stars. The universe felt bigger and more alive than ever. The challenge of survival had turned into the challenge of possibility. Humans could be more than explorers. They could be teachers, allies, even leaders among other civilizations. And somewhere beside him, Scifi's presence glowed softly. He didn't need words to understand. They had changed each other. For the first time, Eli Vance felt truly proud, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. They had earned respect in a galaxy that had doubted them. They had proven that courage, honesty, and heart mattered, and for the human who had accidentally spoken his mind. The universe would never forget the moment an alien commander chose to follow him. Not out of duty, but out of respect, understanding, and admiration. Eli's lips curved into a small smile. Words failed him, but the universe, it seemed, did not.